is 94.3 Radio 1, and this is 100 Hours, 100 Stars. Very, very warm welcome to John Gloster. He's a sports therapist, elite athlete. He's also the Chief Performance Officer at Sports Village Academies. And oh my goodness, he is so involved with cricket in our country. Firstly, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of this platform.
Fantastic to be here, Eric, and fantastic to be part of the whole 100 Hours, 100 Stars initiative. And, I think anything we can do to get out there and make a difference in this difficult time, I think is really, really important. And, you love music, and I know you're familiar with a lot of music. And I came across Leonard Cohen saying the other day, there's a crack in everything, but that's how the light gets in. And it really made me think about this whole scenario that we're in, that, the crack is this whole confrontation that we're up against, this whole situation. But on the other hand, the light coming in is what allows us all to grow. So, that's the opportunity around this. So I'm looking at this as an incredible opportunity, particularly for our athletes, to build and grow in other areas that they otherwise wouldn't have. So thanks, Leonard, for that. And I'm sure you'll appreciate a bit of musical knowledge on the back of this.
Absolutely. Hallelujah to that.
Wonderful.
So coming to you and cricket, you've been involved with international cricket teams for decades now, whether it was the Indian team or Bangladesh and, of course, Rajasthan Royals since 2008, so extensively working with our elite athletes. But coming to the sport of cricket, John, are there any typical injuries that remain specific to the sport of cricket?
Yeah, look, I think the more and more we play and in the shorter formats of the game, the one thing that has changed is the speed of the game. It's unbelievable how quick this is now. And with speed comes injury. So the high volume, high force type injuries that we're seeing now in international cricket is purely on the back of the speed. And then the high velocity means high velocity injuries to muscle. So we're seeing a lot more muscle injuries, particularly hamstrings and lower limb muscle injuries. But the old lumbar spine, low back issues are always going to be there to plague us, unfortunately, and in the fast bowlers. So a real focus for us now is around mitigating risk. So, if you've got to look at all our players now as being enormous assets, particularly in the franchise-based cricket, with the money that they're played, they're huge assets. And like any asset, it has to be delivering for you. So on the back of that, I become an asset manager effectively. So my job is to ensure that the franchise and whoever gets the best out of those assets for the duration of the tournament. So we need to therefore look before the tournament and manage these guys right up to the tournament period. And that includes, the year before. So it's not just about managing them during the tournament. Now, the majority of our workload management actually starts probably 3 months before the tournament. So now it becomes an all year round job managing these assets in international cricket.
Right, keeping them in ship shape. Speaking of that, the last time we spoke, I think we were 3 weeks into the lockdown, 21 days, if I remember clearly. And here we are, 6 weeks down, and we're looking at another 2 weeks. That in itself, is mind-boggling. So we can understand the frustration and the anxieties and all of that. But what can that do? Being locked down in a situation like this, remaining inactive, what can that do to one's body if you remain inactive for long periods of time?
Yeah, I think we're looking both at the physical and as well as the mental as well. So I think we've sort of moved through a lot of the physical issues, and the players particularly, and a lot of our kids are becoming really good at adapting to new exercise routines, different ways of training, getting the most out of their situations, particularly their space constraints. The area that we're really moving into now, which is of more interest to us, is the area of mental fatigue and mental stress, because that's the one that's troubling the athletes more than anything, because they're actually now in an environment they've never really been in before. They're always very much in control of their environments, whereas here they're totally out of control. So I'm finding I'm doing more and more of the counselling on the mental side rather than the physical side now, because for most of the cricketers, they're pretty good with their physical routines. Yes, they may get a bit boring. Yes, they're not actually playing, but we can keep them in some sort of physical, fitness form. The thing that I'm most worried about is how we're managing their mental states, because we're now stepping into areas that they've never explored themselves before. So I'm really, really interested in having conversations with every single one of those players around where they're actually at in their mental state, and then directing them towards the appropriate professionals if need be, to ensure that we're on top of these situations for these players very early.
Right. Well, clearly, our elite athletes have to be in top condition mentally, like you said. And I notice if you jump onto their Insta, they're having fun. A lot of them are. They're trying new things. They're in the kitchen. Either they're cooking or cleaning or, nappy changing or whatever it is. And that's happening in the world.
And that's the beauty, is that suddenly they're discovering other sides to themselves. And this is what we've been encouraging with a lot of them, and particularly with a lot of the kids as well, as discover a hobby. We talk about stress. So how do we get rid of stress? And one of the ways that most of the players is discovering is in the kitchen. Move into another room in the house, which we never go into in everyday life, and start being creative in that space. So it's all about being creative. They're so used to being creative in their space, being on the field or on the training track. Suddenly they're able to be quite creative, a lot of them, in a completely different space. And I think it's really exciting. And I've seen some brilliant pictures from some of the players coming back of what they're building in the kitchen. So I'm happy to see that is becoming their stress release. I'm also encouraging them all to read a lot more, visualize a lot more, because we're so used to everything being delivered to us on a visual screen. So for me, we never have to use our power of imagination, our visualization, building scenarios in our brain. And the best players in the world are good at that. So I'm encouraging them to start reading and start visualizing as well.
Right. Okay, just give me a second. I'm going to ask my Radio 1 listener, or request them rather, to please donate generously to our PM Cares Fund. There's, look down below, you'd find a QR code. You can either scan it or click on it, and it'll take you to where you need to go, so you can fill in your details, and please donate generously. The money is going towards the PM Cares Fund, which in turn will go ahead to, towards our COVID-19 warriors. Very important for you guys to please donate generously.
What a wonderful initiative, Erica, and thanks for the opportunity for us to contribute to the PM Cares Fund. And there are a lot of people out there who are so much worse off than us, and whatever way we can contribute, we all must do that. So dig deep, put the pads on, get out into the middle, and let's start contributing as much as we can to the fund. Yeah.
I'd love to talk to you about your your India Connect, John. You've been here for a while. What has this country taught you?
It was an interesting journey for me, because I actually came to India having had 4 years in Bangladesh. So that was an incredible early part of my introduction to the subcontinent. And that was probably more difficult for me because I'd come from 4 years in England with cricket. So the transition from Bangladesh to Bombay was actually very easy, very, very easy, and very accommodating. I find Mumbai to be a very accommodating city. There's always lots happening. It's been 16 years now for me, and I learn something about this city and this country is that you learn something every single day, and the diversity of it is still quite mind blowing. But it's still, I come from a country where of 20 million people, which is Bombay's population. So for me, I still don't quite get the lack of space, but I'm reasonably adaptive as well. But I think the beautiful part about particularly Mumbaikars is the resilience, and we've seen that on numerous occasions over the years, and how they bounce back. And I've got no doubt that we're going to see that resilience come to the fore, not just during this COVID-19 period, but straight after it as well. I think you'll see Mumbaikars do what they do best, which is bounce back hard and fast, and with greater surety. Right.
Also, you're now working very extensively with kids. Not just across India, but across, the UAE and all of that. I think you're working extensively in terms of introducing sports as, part of the curriculum in schools. A little bit about that project and the importance of having sports in your child's life.
Look, I think it's all about the foundations. And I find that, if we want to particularly fulfill a lot of the ambitions and outcomes that are coming from the PMO down, around health, wellness, skilling, the youth, and then sports outcomes, there's really only one way to solve that problem. And the only way to solve that problem is by having a robust in-school sports education system. So my big drive, my big push now is to ensure that the message around sport and structured sports curriculums within the school space is at the fore, because we will never get outcomes that we desire in any of those areas if we don't have that in place. So we're looking at the long-term health outcomes of our kids, we're looking for the long-term sports outcomes of our nation, and we're looking for the social wellness of our kids as well, all of which is developed on the sports field and on the playground in kids in school. So for me, there's a bigger picture to this. It's not just about getting the next Olympic medals for India. I'm equally concerned about the health, wellness, and kids as we move into the next generation. There's a very, very sad statistic, Erica, that this generation of kids, my son's generation, will be the first generation in the history of mankind not to live as long as the previous generation. And that's purely on the back of nutrition and lifestyle. And I think, and it's completely reversible. And that scares me more than anything, Erica. And I think we need to do something about it. And the best way to address that is through the sports education system in school. The physical educator in the school is the most important person and the most important educator in the entire school system.
Right. Well, we have to start somewhere. I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible.
Thanks, Erica.
Coming back to the nutrition part of it, I'm going to, touch upon that specifically now when we're stuck at home, no activity, we're just grazing all the time. Maybe some tips on nutrition for our kids and for the family.
Again, another big baby of mine is nutrition, and because again, that is the platform. That's the platform for everything: health, wellness, performance, sport, whatever. That is the platform, and that has to be right. And the younger we get that right, the better the long-term outcomes are going to be. So for me, it really is a big thing. The first thing I say to people is, first of all, you need to differentiate between the difference between being hungry and craving for something. Most of us cannot tell the difference. Physiologically, the human body really doesn't get hungry in under 12 to 18 hours. So if you're hungry in under that time, it's not physiological hunger as such. It's actually you craving for something that perhaps you're addicted to, or the reward center in your brain is demanding. And in most cases, it's sugar or something that raises your blood glucose. And we now know that it's sugar and elevated blood glucose that's not burnt off as energy that the body stores as fat. So, a great incentive to keep trim and keep healthy and keep the weight down during this period is by cutting right back on all your sugars, cutting right back on your particularly processed carbohydrates. Let's up the veg, let's up the whole fruits, let's up the healthy fats, and what I call the real foods. And I don't think you can go far wrong. So it's very simple. Let's not overcomplicate it. Let's look for anti-inflammatory foods. Let's look for foods that don't raise your blood glucose too much, and all should be well.
Right. Well, what kind of fitness or sporting habit would you like to introduce to the general Indian population besides cricket? What kind of fitness or sporting habit would you like to introduce?
I think community sport. I think the difference when I look at where I grew up in Australia, the biggest difference is a really strong, healthy, community-involved sport mindset, and that's what drives fitness in the population that probably needs that most, which is late teens, early adults, and then going further into adulthood. But it also drives competition. And competition then flows over into aspects of your life. So I think I'd love to see more community sport, and we're seeing more and more of that now. I think football, I think football is one of the sports that we really should be encouraging, and football in kids particularly, because I believe it's something that any age group can play, and there are various formats of it that you can play, and it's brilliant for mental health and changing your specific health markers. So football would be the one that I'd like to see go to the next level, purely from an overall health, wellness, and fitness of the nation perspective. And then on the back of that, you'll obviously get out of it as well, and a more competitive Indian national team, which I'll take any sport. Erica, please.
Oh, that's okay. You've worked with elite athletes for decades now, especially with our Indian cricketers in the IPL. What might an all-rounder like a Shreyas Gopal or a Rohit Sharma be doing to stay fit at home? Maybe a little peek into that kind of fitness schedule.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit there, but for me, I've actually seen some of Shreyas Gopal's and I've set some of his programs for him. So again, one of the foundations of the modern game, particularly the T20 game, is speed. So the big focus for us is on speed. But in order to build speed, you have to have a brilliant foundation. So first of all, we've gone back and rebuilt their foundations, their core stability, their core strength, their single leg strength and stability. And then on the back of that, we then start introducing speed work. And I've seen him sprinting up and down his driveway, up and down his stairs with resistance bands on. And yeah, so he's been really good. Shreyas Gopal's been excellent. And that'll be a very similar messaging to the majority of the franchise-based players, because the modern game is underpinned by speed. Everything we do now is at a much higher speed. And we talked about that at the beginning of this session. So that's our primary focus. But you can't build speed without the foundations, and you can't build speed without the nutrition as well. So they all go hand in hand. So we're looking at nutrition, the brilliant foundations, and then building on top of that. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an awesome chat as always, and very inspirational. To my Radio 1 listener now, viewer, don't forget to please donate generously. Click on that QR code you see down there. Scan the QR code, and you can click on the link if you wish. It'll take you to where you need to go to be able to fill in those details. And please donate generously. The money is going to our PM Cares Fund, which in turn will go towards supporting our COVID-19 warriors who are fighting on the front line to keep you and I safe. So please donate generously. Thank you so much. It's been fantastic connecting with you. And fingers crossed, the next time we speak, it'll be face-to-face.
Thanks, Erica. I really look forward to it. And everybody, please get out there, dip their hands in the pockets. Let's get into donating to the PM Cares Fund. And I'm, really proud of everybody and what they're doing out there. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much for being part of 100 Hours, 100 Stars. This is 94.3 Radio 1.
नमस्कार ख़वातीन-हज़रात, मैं हूं आपका लव कोच राहुल माकिन, दिल्ली के नंबर 1 रेडियो स्टेशन फीवर 104 FM से। एंड आई होप आपको ये 100 Hours 100 Stars बहुत अमेजिंग लग रहा होगा। कहते हैं कि इश्क एक तरफ हो तो सज़ा देता है और दोनों तरफ हो तो मज़ा देता है। तो हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि आपको अच्छा लग भी रहा है कि नहीं, है ना? उसके लिए आपको हमें लाइक, सब्सक्राइब, शेयर, कमेंट सब कुछ करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। सो प्लीज़ इसे देखिए और आगे भी शेयर कीजिए और हमें फीडबैक भी दीजिए कि कैसा लग रहे हैं आपको ये 100 Hours 100 Stars के धमाके।
Presenting Fever Network. The power of 3. Number 1 station in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and Kolkata. Fever FM, the bomb of Bollywood.
Congratulations to all of you for being the number 1 radio station.
The biggest CSR initiative on radio. pioneers of radio drama in the industry. Biggest sports tie-ups. Official radio partners of 5 winning IPL teams. Most entertaining shows and RJs. Radio Nasha, India's coolest retro station.
107.2 Radio Nasha. Nasha, 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 Nasha. Gane ka nasha, gungunane ka nasha, sunne ka nasha, suna.
Celeb RJs. Best of retro. Shows and RJs that take you back in time. Radio 1, India's only international network. The only radio station Katy Perry vibed with. We were there when U2 performed for the first time in India. Global teen sensation Justin Bieber jams with Radio 1. Truly global shows and RJs. Megamix, America's Top 40, The Mahindra Blues Show, and more.
Hi, this is RJ Junior from Fever Action FM Kolkata. Oh my god, finally it is happening, guys! 100 hours, 100 stars, a non-stop tribute to Covered Warriors. I hope you all are enjoying 100 hours, 100 stars as much as we enjoyed interviewing the stars and superstars from all walks of life. আর যদি ভালো লেগে থাকে তাহলে এক্ষুনি লাইক করো, সাবস্ক্রাইব করো, কমেন্ট করো, and if you love it then do share. 100 hours, 100 stars, guys. This is epic. Stay tuned. Love you guys.
This is 100 hours, 100 stars. My name is Annie. I host the afternoon show called Afternoons with Annie on 94.3 Radio 1, Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. This is the biggest online carnival that the entire network has put together, which is starting with 94.3 Radio 1 to Radio Nasha and Fever FM. So this conversation that we're having right now is something that you can catch completely in the full on our Instagram handles, okay? I'll get to more of those details. It's 94.3 Radio 1 India is our Instagram handle. And like I said, Radio Nasha also on Fever FM official. And I'm talking to superstars. One such superstar is with me right now. Her name is Anushka Parwani, who is also better known as Anushka Yoga. Hello, Anushka.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me and calling me a superstar. I feel so good. Thank you.
Well, Anushka, 100 hours, 100 stars is an initiative that we have taken where we are talking to stars like you or celebrities like you for a whole of 100 hours, different celebrities from different walks of life. So from sports stars to cricket, cricket is a different sport, right? I can't even put it in under one sports league. So cricketers and politicians and journalists and editors in chiefs and actors and actresses and yoga gurus and everybody literally. And this project, or rather this video conversation, at the end, at the bottom of the screen, there is a QR code. You need to scan that code, and it will take us to a link that will help us contribute to the PM relief effort. So it's directly linked to the PM Relief Fund. And so glad that you decided to support this initiative, Anshika.
No, of course. Thank you. I think each one of us, anything that we can really do to help, right? Right now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's you have to be doing this. This is something that you should be doing. Yeah.
Something that's really cool about Anshika is that she's got a revetting story to begin with. How she started off with yoga. Although she's had yoga that she grew up watching her mom do, it wasn't the first thing she wanted to do in her life. In fact, she wanted to become a pilot. Can you beat that? When I first met her, I was in awe to just look at her and know that once a commercial pilot, today a yoga guru, but by choice, by the way. And of course, there is a story behind it also. And you know what? Every time I meet you, Anshika, I revisit the story because I think it's so inspirational.
I know. I know. Every time we do this all the time, so I feel it immediately.
Because it was an accident, a near-death accident, really, that you experienced, and it really brought you down. You were, I think, for months in bed, right?
Mm-hmm. For about 8 to 9 months.
8 to 9
I was
months.
bedridden, yes.
That's quite a bit. And then from there on, of course, I believe recuperating, you realize that yoga was being of so much help to you. So, I want to ask, I know I've asked you this before, but how did you make up your mind? Because that attraction to yoga must have been huge, right?
No, there was no attraction to yoga actually initially, right? You mean like why?
The opposite. Going
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. No, so I mean, yeah, of course, because through how I was healed and how it helped me, because it was so personal. I don't think I would choose anything else. Even though, I mean, I love flying. I still fly to keep my commercial pilot license active. So every year you have to do a medical and fly some hours, and I do all of that. But yoga is something that it just draws me to it, and I love what I do. And of course, it's important to love what you do, right? It is so important. And I think like I feel good after I do it, even though sometimes, of course, it's still, I mean, we are still running studios and running a business, but the way we are doing it, it's so rewarding, and you're giving back constantly. So I feel like it's a very different kind of reward that you get at the end of the day. And of course, you're just getting healthier. So I feel that sort of attraction to yoga was, I mean, I never thought that would ever happen in my wildest dreams. I don't think it's anyone's ambition to become a yoga teacher. As they grow up, you hear people becoming like, want to become doctors or teachers, but never like a yoga teacher.
Right.
That was definitely not
the way to do things.
And absolutely, it was definitely never mine. I never thought I would be doing this. So it is true that what I've studied and what I did and what I'm doing now, it's crazy. So I'm just I'm here, happy, grateful.
Do you still hold the license to a pilot?
Yes, I have I have a commercial pilot license. It's valid, and I do fly. And I fly the smaller twin prop planes. But I do. Yes, it's fun and fantastic.
You know what, Anshika? I'm taking one trip with you, man. I really want to take one trip with you.
Yeah, I think we should do this for sure. It'll be fun.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be super adventurous. So I believe yoga did teach you in the healing that it gave you, especially the time that you were in the hospital and you were recuperating and recovering, that the satisfaction that yoga gave you in the healing was becoming more powerful than what you wanted to do, because you always wanted to become a pilot and you were very good at it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, no, go on, sorry.
So it's the healing power that actually helped you make that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. It was that healing power, and also the fact that everybody wants to be present, like a lot of people present in the sense like you want to be present and live for the now. I think we are all striving to do that, but no one has really achieved it. And I think through my practice is when I realized that I can actually be in the now without
Right.
having to make the effort, So I
Right.
feel like I learned that, and that sort of, I was always, of course, you're young and you're ambitious and you're chasing your dreams, right? So it's always fast paced for every single one of us, no matter what we are chasing, right? So we're never really pausing and like being in the moment. So I think yoga gave me that flexibility to do what I love, chase what I'm doing as well in some way, and be, present. So I think it was such a mixture of everything that really kept me sane, healed me, of course. Like, I was bedridden for 8 months. So I had so many fractures, so much physiotherapy, so many doctors. Like, quite honestly, I was fed up. And when you go from having an airline job, losing it, not having a current medical, which means that if I didn't have yoga, I would not have anything else at that point, because you have to be medically fit to be flying, which I wasn't.
Right.
And I did not have any other education or skill at that moment, right? So I would have to start again from the ground up. So I feel like it just came to me, I'm very grateful. Yeah.
I'm
So,
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure. It's of course when you have your life with you, you can probably turn it around and do many more things. And yoga came to you. And your first celebrity. Okay, before I go to the first celebrity, the person that you trained, or first celebrity that you trained, I want to ask you, since we are sitting in pretty much yoga position, although I'm cheating a bit because I'm.
Annie, I lost you there.
Are you here? I mean, did you get me?
Okay. Yeah, I got you again. Yes. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I was asking that back in the days when you were in bed and there was a lot of healing happening or recovery happening, and soon after that, the yoga asanas, or maybe the school of yoga that you started and kind of was helping you. Can you show us one of the asanas from there that really proved very, very helpful?
More than an asana, it was breathing, just the right kind of breath. So I think, I have my mat here and I can show you various poses, but really for anybody who's just starting out, just focusing on your breath is so important. So I'll quickly show you, let me show you 2 or 3 things really quickly. Okay, so one thing is just and I feel like this is one thing that I was talking about earlier also. I feel like you should look at your life as like having a limited resource of breath, so you're given, say, X amount of breath, inhalation and exhalation is one breath, right? So breathing in and breathing out is so important. So you always want to extend that as much as you can. You want to elongate it. So I feel like we are always breathing so shallow because we are always fast paced, So that's something that you need to work on. And I feel like that's food for thought, because that statement, I'm saying it so casually, but when you really think about it, it actually helps you to breathe better. So every time you remember, that that's your limited resource that you have for your own self, and you're the only person who can control that. So quickly, I'll just take you into belly breathing. Belly breathing is as simple as taking your palm on your belly and inhaling and blowing up that belly.
Okay.
And exhaling and allowing it to sink in. But now I want you to do it with counts. So I want you to close your eyes and go inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that only one more time. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is as simple as doing literally your breathing, but you're just being aware. So it helps you to tune in, and you can play with the counts, which means you can actually inhale for up to 6 counts. You can hold your breath for the same amount, exhale for the same amount. What's important to always exhale more than you inhale. So if your exhalation and your inhalation is the same, that's fine, but never have your exhalation lesser than your inhalation. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
not good.
Very good point.
So you want to train yourself like that. And holding your breath is called kumbhaka. Kumbhaka is, a lot of people have taken kumbhaka breathing and turned it into various different breathing principles and modules. And like there are different kind of, they've come up with like inventions, which is actually kumbhaka from the yoga practice, where we just inhale and retain our breath. And a lot of people around the world follow that for various things. Athletes, people who are in super cold countries. There are so many famous people also that have been using this breathing. But honestly, it's really about kumbhaka. It's just about retaining your breath and sustaining your breath. So the second one I'm going to tell you is like, if this is a box, okay, I want you to visualize a box. So you inhale one side, say inhale 1, 2, 3. This is not really a box, it's a rectangle,
Right.
but visualize a box. You inhale to one side and then you hold your breath to the opposite side. Then you exhale as you come down and then you suspend your breath, which means when you exhale, there's no breath. You stay and then you start inhaling again. So it's literally like, the 4 sides of a square. So even if you just close your eyes and you go through that, that's good enough to control your breath. And of course, Om. Om chanting is so powerful. And it's, everyone chants Om as Om. However, it's A-U-M, like Aum, So it's Om, A-U-M. So it's not just Om, the way you say it. So even if you just chant Om maybe 9 times, 18 times, 27 times. 27 times is a good number to start with if you have the time. Even if you just do it for 9 times and you're staying with your breathing, you'll just see how different you're feeling. So those 3 things with the breath. And of course, I have a lot of different pranayams, which I don't want to show right now because a lot of different pranayams have different contraindications. So someone might have high BP, someone might be pregnant, but with what I just showed you is for everybody. This is very simple. Only if you're suffering from different ailments, don't hold on to your breath for too long. Of course, if you're pregnant, don't do that. But other than that, just focusing on your breath is very easy to do. Another thing I want to show you with asanas, while you're sitting, nowadays we've been sitting more than we've been standing, even though we are working at home, we are still sitting more. So something as basic as, even if you're sitting cross-legged, you can just twist your spine. It's as simple as this, just twist your spine. Twisting is so important for the body. It actually helps you to churn out all the toxins. So twisting is very, very simple. Then you can get into a butterfly pose, which is just a namaste with your feet. And, you're flapping around, and you'll feel your inner thighs, your groin, your hips opening up. And it's so good for your circulation. And finally, I'm going to show you another seated pose, which is Malasan. This is one of my favorites. So Malasan, and we Indians are so good at this. This is the Indian squat pose. And I feel like every one of us has been on an Indian toilet. And if you haven't, then I don't know which part of India you all are living in. But we all have. And this is so good for you. This actually helps you to, on a physical sense, it's very good, of course, to open up your thighs, your inner thighs, your groin. On a more higher level, your hips are where you store your emotions, right? So you will notice that when some days when you're really stressed out, there's always a mind-body connection. There's a mind-body-soul connection. So when you're really stressed out, you'll feel like your hips are really jammed. And as you sit in this pose, you'll feel it opening up. And I truly believe that you are as flexible in your body as in your mind, and vice versa. So, it's very simple when people talk about the calming effects of yoga. It actually helps you to really ease, breathe deeply, and, tune in. This is also good for a lot of circulation around the reproductive organs. So it's very good for men and women both. And it doesn't prevent prostate cancer 100%, but it's known to prevent a lot of cancers around the reproductive area because it's massaging your internal organs. So there's a lot of blood circulation and it's giving all those right nutrients to those organs. And what's important to notice here is if someone's not used to this, you might feel a lot of pain in your ankle. I'm used to this, but you can just take a cushion and place it underneath your buttock. You have a cushion.
Oh, nice.
Even if you don't have a cushion, you have a dabba, place a dabba. Anything.
Correct.
So there's no excuse. Yeah, and or you can sit on the wall if your back starts hurting, because we are not used to sitting upright. Sit on the wall with your back, but keep the knees open and your feet should be flat. And this is a great way to watch TV. I know we've been watching so much of the television, and now that the 100 hours is going on, when people are watching it, sit like this and watch it. It's so good for you. It's and keep building up. Okay. So, and finally, I'm going to talk about the Surya Namaskar. So the Surya Namaskar is very, very simple to do. However, there are again lots of contraindications. I'll do one Surya Namaskar round for you. This Surya Namaskar, why I want to point out, this is on my Instagram page and my YouTube page. Please go to it, because through that, it's showing you the steps of what to do and what not to do. It's actually giving you a chart of, if you want to do your home practice, you don't want to sign up for a class, you know how many rounds you want to do every single day, so that it becomes simpler. So most people have those questions about how many to do, where to start, etc., etc. Honestly, start wherever. Even if you're doing 20 one day and the next day you drop down to 8, as long as you're moving, that's fine. Surya Namaskar is great because it's a great workout on the physical level. You're going to break a sweat and you're stretching every single muscle in your body. Each muscle group is working, strengthening, toning, lengthening. So you're working on your flexibility, you're working on your range, you're working on your endurance, and depending on your stamina, you're improving it because you try to improve the repetitions every day. So I'm going to quickly do a Surya Namaskar round so you guys see it. But again, I would recommend that you all follow and check with the contraindications. Okay, so from here, we'll start. We're going to get our feet together. Namaste.
Okay.
You're going to inhale to raise your hands. You don't have to arch your back. You can just stay here. As you go forward, you want to touch your toes. Now, if you're not flexible, that's okay. Even if you're stuck here, that's fine. Bend your knees and go down.
Right.
Then step your leg back into a lunge. What's important to note here that your knee shouldn't cross your ankle. I see a lot of people doing Surya Namaskar like this. It's going to damage you. So don't do this. And you want to do it with me? Let's have you do it. Come on. So stand up. No, I'm going to make you do it from the beginning. Up.
Oh, okay. So I'll need to, but I'm on my bed. Oh my God. Okay, I'll try.
Okay, come on. Okay, inhale to raise your hands up. Okay, now go forward to touch your toes. Now step your right leg back into a lunge where I am. Beautiful. Make sure both your hands are in one line with your foot. So you're on a lunge, huh? You're like that, right?
Right, yeah.
Now left leg back into a plank.
Right.
Okay, now drop your knees.
Keep
your buttocks. Okay, drop your knees, keep the buttocks off the floor and drop your chest and chin.
Yeah.
Now come up, inhale Bhujangasana. Now raise your hips, 2 baby steps in, push into your heels, look at your belly button, keep looking at your belly button. Now step your right leg forward in a lunge again, in one line with your palms. Now step your left leg forward and slowly come up, head rolling up last, Namaskar. Slowly come up, yeah. And you can repeat that on the left side. Bed. So what's real? Oh, that's not good, guys. Not for Surya Namaskar, but you can do it for the other poses because the surface is soft, right? So you don't want to, you don't want your posture or your alignment to go incorrect. Otherwise, certain things like another thing, I'm sure we all need this. When we lie back, when we wake up, just hug your knees and press into your abdomen. Okay, this is called the Pavan Muktasana. It's quite self-explanatory, right? Pavan Muktasana, we all need it in the morning. It's great for indigestion, acidity, and a lot of people have, you know, certain things that they need to do before they go into their barbell movement for the day. You know, somebody needs a coffee, somebody needs their chai, and really it's more about how you're training your body. So if you get this the massaging right of the abdominal area of your stomach, your digestive system is going to get better. So I feel like there's so much to do. I feel like I've given you all so many options already.
Of
So,
course,
you can just pick and choose.
Quite a few. Yeah. So Surya Namaskar and breathing, I think, and even sitting in that position while watching or doing anything, while even cutting vegetables, while doing your house chores.
Exactly, yeah.
What
when
is
you're
the
doing your katka.
Correct. What is the asana called again when you're doing the katka, the one that you asked us to sit in?
Malasan.
Malasan.
Malasan, yeah.
Malasan. So I guess it's very, very helpful. And tell me something, you haven't had your guests coming to you or your celebrities or anybody coming to you for yoga classes because of this lockdown, but you have connected with them online. So do you think going forward, if this is the new norm, how prepared are you to accept it?
Okay, I'm fully prepared to accept it. However, of course, I miss the human, because right now I feel like I'm a online anything pro. Like I've figured out, from your Zoom security to your Google Hangouts to anything, I feel like I'm a pro. I know every payment portal there is. I know everything about how to be digital. But I miss my human interaction. For me, yoga is a lot about energy exchange. So in the beginning, I was struggling with understanding the mood, because I know when somebody just walks into my studio, I know how they're feeling, and I don't design my classes anymore beforehand, because I have experience now. Before I used to figure out each class, but now I don't have that, because I understand every body type, and no two classes can be the same. So I miss that part of the human interaction, and sometimes I'm like jumping onto the screen, because there's only so much you can correct yourself. That's why you always need a teacher to correct you with your alignment, and not necessarily that you will get injured, because some people might, if they're because there's so much free content out there. And although I'm a pro, I like that there's free content. Somewhere I'm also scared that, hey, just pause. If you're unsure, maybe just do that one paid class in the week and do the rest of the classes that are free, but figure out if you're doing the right thing. So sometimes I just want to go through the screen and twist your body in a certain way, stop. But what I love is that I feel like my students have really embraced this. Even the ones initially who did not want to do it, everyone's doing it right now. There hasn't been one single student of mine that is not doing it. Celebrities and all my other students as well. It's so nice to see. And sometimes they're also doing it together, in a group, because it's a little more motivating. Right. So it's so nice that lovely blend that everyone's having. And like I said, I feel like I've reached out to so many people, which I haven't, around the world. I've always done events when I've gone to certain places, but whenever people have asked me for Skype or, classes or consultations, I've never been so big on this online thing. But right now, I feel like I wish I had done it sooner, because I'm definitely not going to stop this, even if this is not the new normal. But, life goes back to how it was. I'm going to definitely continue this, because I feel like I've reached out to so many lovely people around the world. I didn't even realize that I've motivated and inspired so many people, and it's so nice to have that, because sometimes, you don't know what role you're playing in others' lives, but it seems like it's so positive to hear so many things. So I'm feeling good about that.
Absolutely. From Kareena Kapoor Khan being your first celebrity, student, to Rakul Preet, to Nimrat Kaur, the list is pretty long. Everybody's come to your center, which is called Anushka Yoga in Mumbai, in Bandra. And now that you're online, like you said, you're connecting with people all over the world. I know human interaction is something you've already mentioned, but other than that, what is the one fun thing you want to do as soon as the lockdown eases and you get the chance to go out? Of course, with your mask and gloves or whatever, but what is the first thing you'd want to do?
I'm a big adrenaline junkie, and I love, if you see my feed, I'm always flyboarding or flying planes or skydiving or diving or anything. I love doing anything out, anything which is, a little more, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm a more sporty girl, you can say. I like adventure, I like adrenaline. So I miss that. That's one thing. Even running, I I have a lot of space at home. I'm very blessed. Also, my studio is like an, part of my home, like an external unit. So I'm lucky that I come here, but I want to run. I just want to run, I just want to run and just breathe. That's, to be honest, like I want to eat and everything, of course, go to restaurants and see my friends. But most importantly, I just want to, I feel like even though I have the freedom, I still feel like, oh my God, this is a cage, So I feel like I need to like break free somewhere and just maybe go for a run and sweat it out. Yeah, that's what I want.
I know.
Like, I don't want anything fussy. I think I'm just going to wear my shoes and run. Yeah. And my dog, poor thing, she's been at home. She needs to walk, take my dog for a walk. Like I can't, like I see her every day and I feel so bad, but she's enjoying the pampering. I mean, she's loving it, but yeah.
What breed is your dog, by the way?
I have a Rottweiler.
What?
I have a Rottweiler. Yeah,
You get the Rottweiler at home. Rottweiler needs to step out of the house.
No, but that's what I said. I am blessed. My house is relatively larger. I have a lovely compound. It's not, so she has a lot of space. I feel like even in the day, she hasn't gone around the house even once because she has so much space,
Oh,
so that
very
way,
good.
I'm really lucky and grateful. Yeah.
God bless.
That's
very good.
one
Thank you
thing.
so much, Anushka, for your time. It has been beautiful because you showed us some things that are so basic. And, literally the Malasan also is like going back to what we grew up watching and doing. These days, we're looking at the West. For many, many years, we've been looking towards the West. Whether I think the decision in you going after the adrenaline junkie you always had and so becoming a pilot, but then following your heart when you saw that yoga is much larger in life, really, and you can touch so many people's lives, you've come back home in some way, you know what I mean? But while, of course, keeping your passion alive because you take off whenever you feel like it and whenever you can, and that's something that not everybody has the blessing to do, really. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to see you in another class very soon. And please sign up for my classes, guys. I'd love to see you guys online.
Yes,
Bye.
it is. Yeah, it's Anushka Yoga. So don't forget, it's Anushka Yoga on every platform, whether it's Instagram or even Facebook, and of course her YouTube channel. And don't forget, this is 100 hours, 100 stars. At the bottom of the screen, there is a QR code. You need to scan it. It will take you to a link which says proceed to contribute. It's directly linked to the PM relief effort. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Anushka, again. And God bless. I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. I'm pleased, Tanit. Bye. Thank you.
Hi, hello, this is RJ Raghuravtar from Lucknow. Hope you guys are enjoying 100 hours, 100 stars. The list is jam-packed with superstars and legends. So just stay tuned, and what you like, just don't forget to share. Please like, share, comment and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook also. Do comment, share with your friends and family if you're watching on Instagram. Hi, hello to everyone. Just stay connected, stay tuned and stay entertained.
जब सारी दुनिया कर रही थी बकवास, तब फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज की शुरुआत करते हुए रेडियो पर जॉन इब्राहिम, गौतम गंभीर और वरुण धवन ने मिलकर ये कहा।
हाय, मैं हूँ गौतम गंभीर। हाय, मैं हूँ वरुण धवन। हाय, मैं हूँ जॉन इब्राहिम। फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के साथ मैं कहता हूँ बकवास बंद, बदलाव शुरू।
फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज का सबसे पहला इनिशिएटिव था नो MC, नो BC।
मैं जॉन इब्राहिम कहता हूँ, मैं वरुण धवन भी ये वादा करता हूँ, हम अपनी शहर की औरतों को जुबान से इज्जत देंगे, यानी नो MC, नो BC।
उसके बाद मिशन तेजाब में कई एसिड अटैक विक्टिम्स की जिंदगी का रुख बदल दिया।
हाय, मैं हूँ आमिर खान और फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज एसिड अटैक विक्टिम्स को एक नई जिंदगी दे रहा है। मैं इसका स्वागत करता हूँ।
मिशन जुर्रत में देश के सारे पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट्स को एक साथ मिलकर कहा।
नमस्कार, मैं अमिताभ बच्चन बोल रहा हूँ। दिल्ली, बेंगलोर, कोलकाता और मुंबई पुलिस को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं मैं देना चाह रहा हूँ। आप फीवर 104 FM मिशन जुर्रत का हिस्सा बने। ये बदलाव की बहुत बड़ी शुरुआत है और मेरी शुभकामनाएं आपके साथ।
जब कश्मीर में फ्लड्स आए, लाखों की तादाद में खाने पीने की सामग्री कश्मीर भिजवाई। हमारी इस कोशिश के लिए मिशन कश्मीर ने जीता गोवा फेस्ट में प्रेस्टिजियस एबी अवार्ड।
मैं और आप मिलकर फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज का अगला प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करते हैं, ब्लड बैंक 104। ब्लड बैंक 104 फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के साथ मैं जॉन इब्राहिम ये वादा करता हूँ कि इस शहर में जब भी होगी खून की दरकार, तैयार रहेगा फीवर 104।
और फिर ट्रैफिक जैम की वजह से नहीं जाए कोई जान, उसके लिए हमने शुरू की अपनी मुहिम एम्बुलेंस फर्स्ट।
हाय, मैं हूँ जॉन इब्राहिम।
हाय, मैं हूँ गौतम गंभीर।
हाय, मैं वरुण धवन बोल रहा हूँ।
हाय, मैं हूँ आलिया भट्ट। जब भी एम्बुलेंस का सायरन सुनाई दे तो हो जाए लेफ्ट, क्योंकि एम्बुलेंस फर्स्ट।
अब बकवास बंद, बदलाव शुरू।
एम्बुलेंस फर्स्ट के साथ साथ फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज ने जिम्मा लिया ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट का और बनाया ग्रीन कॉरिडोर, जिसमें एयरपोर्ट से हॉस्पिटल का सफर जो घंटों का था उसे मिनटों का बना दिया। एम्बुलेंस फर्स्ट का डंका सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान में नहीं बल्कि न्यूयॉर्क तक बजा। रेडियो के ऑस्कर कहे जाने वाले न्यूयॉर्क फेस्टिवल ने एम्बुलेंस फर्स्ट इनिशिएटिव को 2 बार NYF अवार्ड से नवाजा। और फिर कैंसर सर्वाइवर्स की जिंदगी में बदलाव लाने के लिए फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के साथ जुड़े युवराज सिंह।
फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के साथ कैंसर सर्वाइवर की जिंदगी के बदलाव के लिए मैं युवराज सिंह तैयार हूँ। क्या आप तैयार हैं?
फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज ने वोटिंग परसेंटेज में किया बदलाव अपनी मुहिम ईच वन खींच वन के साथ।
नमस्कार, मैं हूँ फीवर आरजे अमिताभ बच्चन। चुनाव का माहौल बना हुआ और मैं तो कहूँगा कि ईच वन खींच वन। जब मैं भी वोटिंग करने जाऊंगा तो किसी को साथ खींच कर लेकर जाऊंगा।
इंडियन आर्मी के साथ मिलकर फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज ने एक ऐसा जश्न मनाया जिसका शोर बॉर्डर पार पहुंचा।
मैं गौतम गंभीर।
मैं हूँ कर्नल VN थापर, कैप्टन विजयन थापर का फादर।
मैं हूँ मेजर गौरव आर्या।
फीवर FM के साथ मिलकर कहता हूँ,
इस कारगिल विजय दिवस मिलकर ऐसा जश्न मनाएंगे
कि शोर
बॉर्डर पार पहुंचे। जय हिंद,
जय हिंद,
जय हिंद, जय हिंद।
7 दिसंबर इंडियन आर्म्ड फोर्स फ्लैग डे पर फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के साथ पूरे हिंदुस्तान ने मिलकर दिखाया अपना देश प्रेम।
मैं सिर्फ यही रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगा सारे अपने फैंस और लिसनर्स से, आप फेसबुक हो चाहे इंस्टाग्राम हो चाहे इवन ट्विटर हो, अगर आप अपना फ्रेम चेंज कर सकते हैं 7 दिसंबर को तो कहीं ना कहीं आप वो रिस्पेक्ट दे रहे हैं आर्म फोर्सेस को।
दिल्ली की बिगड़ती हवा और पोल्यूशन से एनवायरनमेंट को बचाने के लिए फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज लेकर आया प्रोजेक्ट ग्रीन हार्ट्स, जहां हमने दिल्ली NCR में लगाए 1 लाख से भी ज्यादा पेड़।
आप पहले 1 या 2 पेड़ों से शुरुआत करो और कोशिश करो कि उन पेड़ों को अपने बच्चों की तरह बड़ा करो।
पुलवामा अटैक इस मुश्किल की घड़ी में पूरे देश को शहीदों के परिवार से जोड़ रही थी एक वेबसाइट भारत के वीर। तो फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के साथ मिलकर सुपरस्टार अक्षय कुमार ने फीवर 104 FM पर DG CRPF से कहा,
हेलो डी साहब, शरद।
हाँ, नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। अक्षय भाई मेरे साथ दूसरी लाइन पे।
नमस्ते जी। मेरे लायक कोई भी सेवा हो, मैं बोला पूरा देश आपके साथ है इस वक्त। अभी आई हैव जस्ट सेंड 5 करोड़ रुपीस टू भारत के वीर फ्रॉम माय साइड।
फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज ने शुरू की मुहिम #सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक से ब्रेकअप।
मैं तो सभी दुकानदारों से आग्रह करूंगा, आप अपने दुकान पर हमेशा बोर्ड लगाते हैं, एक बोर्ड ये भी लगा दीजिए, कृपा करके हमसे प्लास्टिक की थैली की अपेक्षा न करें।
और फिर पहली बार देश के किसी मीडिया हाउस की पीठ थपथपाने के लिए देश के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने फीवर 104 FM के लिए ट्वीट किया। फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज के पिछले 5 सालों की ये तो बस एक छोटी सी झलक थी, लेकिन फीवर वॉइस ऑफ चेंज की टीम जॉन इब्राहिम के साथ कहती है, ये बस शुरुआत है, बदलाव अब भी बाकी है।
Hi guys, it's me RJ Ada and you are watching 100 Hours, 100 Stars, a tribute to the COVID warriors. And there are stars, there are superstars, legends who are a part of this, people who we look up to, get inspired, who bring a smile on our faces, and they're all here telling you to be together and fight this together and saying thank you to all our COVID warriors. So if you like what you see, then do like, share, comment and subscribe, and of course, stay safe. Thank you.